because there's just one more thing you need to know. We're going to be covering oil changes. We'll be doing an oil change to a 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan 3.3 liter. The great thing about doing your own oil changes is that you can take advantage of using synthetic oil, which is a higher grade of oil, without having to deal with the price tag. So what you're going to need in this case, the tools: 3-ton hydraulic jack stands, 3/8 socket wrench, 14mm socket, oil pan holding 5 liters, funnel, a drop sheet, and cardboard or plastic sheets to cover oil spills that might occur throughout the process. The parts involved: now you can use synthetic motor oil or conventional oil, and in this case, if you're using synthetic motor oil, you'll need to use a synthetic oil filter. I've got the part numbers there and examples of different brands that you could possibly use. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to be using a 3-ton jack. 2.25 wouldn't be enough for the van, or in any case an SUV or any larger vehicle. So 3-ton jack is the safest thing to be using, and you're not using the jack to hold up the weight of the vehicle for the duration of time that you're actually doing the oil change. You're going to get the car to a height that you're able to place a stand underneath, get the stand to hold the weight of the vehicle on the frame. So I'm trying to put it on a really good part of the frame here, and I'm not going to have the entire weight of the vehicle left on the stand. I'm going to almost have like a 50-50 weight distribution, kind of have the car rest on the stand and then put a little pressure right back on the jack, so that the jack is holding the vehicle, the stand is holding the vehicle. If the jack happens to let go, the stand, it's not completely falling on the stand. The stand does have some of the weight, and it's just going to uphold the vehicle, and everything is safe. Alright, let's remove the oil cap. Alright, so I'm cutting up a Home Depot bag, and that's going to be in place of my cardboard or plastic sheet to catch any spills that might occur. Hopefully there's not too many. There usually isn't, but just in case, don't want anything to get on the concrete or pavement. Using your 3/8 socket wrench and your 14mm socket, you're going to securely place it on the drain plug. You don't want to use any air tools. Socket wrench is perfectly fine. You don't want to round off the drain plug. That will lead to bigger issues. Once you remove the drain plug, the oil will drain. Ensure that it drains in the pan. And you'll just allow it to drain until all the used oil is completely out. After allowing some time for the used oil to drain from the engine, you'll be moving on to clean the drain plug and securely tighten it back onto the oil pan. There it is, it's just dripping, and you're moving on to have that oil filter that you just saw taken off, and we'll put in the new one. So I'm just cleaning the outside and just inspecting the drain plug itself, making sure that gasket, there's no cracks, and anything that might cause any oil to prematurely leak. So the gasket looks fine, and I'm going to put it back on. First, I'm going to hand screw it, making sure the threads are properly connected. I don't want to cross thread it. That would lead to big issues. So there I go. I hand tighten it, and then I'm going to take my socket wrench with my 14mm socket, and I'm going to tighten it back with my just enough force to make sure that that it's on there tightly and secure. once I've got it tight on there and I'm confident that it's not going to leak or cause any leaks, I'm going to wipe it up and clean up the area. I want to make sure it's clean. I'm going to run a test after I add the oil and replace the filter and everything is done. I'm going to run a test. I want to make sure that there's no leaks at all. So I'm just giving it a last little tug there. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the oil filter. And really what I'm doing is I'm just going to grip it. Now some oil filters have a grip composite that's kind of embedded on the bottom of it, and that gives you a little bit of grip to twist it. Some of them don't. You might need to use a oil filter clamp. You could buy that at any type of automotive store, parts stores, Canadian Tire. But I'm just kind of using my hands there. It does have the grip composite at the bottom, so it allows you to turn it with ease. And so it's dripping out of there. I've removed the oil filter. This is the synthetic oil filter that I'm using. The part number is there as well, and I'm going to replace it. It's good for about 10,000 kilometers. I would say 10. It says a lot more than that, but 10,000 is what I'm going to be driving the vehicle up toward. And you're going to take a little bit of oil and just put it right around that gasket there, the used oil, and rub it around that gasket. That's going to help ensure that the seal is tight and that there's not going to be any type of leaks. And it's kind of prepping that gasket to begin its seal. So all you're really doing is you're using your hands to catch the thread and you're going to tighten it. You want to make sure it's really tight on there. Alright, so we're at that time we're going to add the new oil, synthetic oil, fresh. It's 5 liters of oil. On paper, the engine should be taking with the filter about 4.5 liters of oil. Some people have said that they're very comfortable putting 5.2 liters of oil in there. I'm just adding the complete 5. I've always add the completed 5 to the 3.3 liter engine in Dodge Caravan, and it seems to be working fine out with me. Before adding the oil cap, you want to make sure that if there was any spillage, you want to wipe it up. You don't want any oil to excess oil to be burning. Hopefully you didn't spill a lot, nothing but a couple drops. Just wipe it up really carefully and put your oil cap right back on. Tighten it securely. Give a few minutes for the oil to settle into the engine, and then take a look at your dipstick. Make sure the oil level is where you want it to be. The oil is very clear in this picture. You can hardly even see it. Start the engine and give about 3 long revs with the gas pedal there. What you're looking for is you're going to go back under the vehicle. You're going to look at the oil filter. You're going to look at the drain plug. You're going to see if there's any oil that's coming through the gaskets. That would mean that they're not tight. that the pressure from the engine is allowing the oil to leak, and that wouldn't be good. In this case, I've tightened them all. There's no leaks. Um, Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful. Oil changes. It's just one more thing you need to know.